You're good.
Thumbs up. All right. So let's have a little fun before we get started. You guys can communicate back to me just with thumbs ups. So give me a thumbs up if you've done more virtual meetings in the last week than you've done the rest of your whole life. Yep. Give me a thumbs up if you find yourself working in various random positions all day, laying on your couch, laying on the ground, sitting Indian style. Give me a thumbs up if you find yourself in tons of various different positions all day. And now give me one more thumbs up if you guys might see me looking down here. I'm just looking down so I can see you guys all on my laptop. I have you all on gallery view on my laptop. Last question, give me another thumbs up if you find that your body is a little bit achy because of this work from home scenario where, you know, we're kind of just in various positions all day, cabin fever, blah, 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 all that good stuff. So I'm seeing a lot of thumbs ups. So you guys all came to the right workshop today. We have a couple goals today. Really, this isn't supposed to be a workout. This is supposed to be something that gives you some tools for your toolbox so that you can reset your body to baseline and have a couple ways that you can activate muscles, release muscles, and generally just get rid of tension in your body. You know, there's a lot of stress going on in the world right now, and then everybody's getting used to kind of a new lifestyle and a new way to work and a new way to connect with friends. And I want to give you a couple tools today that you can use to, when your back feels sore, when your shoulders feel tight, when your hips feel a little tight, that you can use these tools to reset your body back to a baseline. All right. So we've all been working from home and putting our body in various positions. This actually could be a little bit of a positive. So there's a little bit of a silver lining here. Normally in corporate America, we're sitting all day, and being stuck in one position all day is not ideal for your body musculoskeletal system. So biomechanically, if you're in one position all day, some muscles get tight and some muscles don't work at all. So that's where all the activation and the release comes in. And the silver lining in this working from home scenario is you're not stuck in just the sitting position all day. You can switch up the different positions that you want to work in, and you can lay for a while, sit for a while, stand for a while. And that's good because your body is meant to be malleable, and you're supposed to be able to be resistant and resilient against all these different positions. So if you find yourself in a bad posture, if you hold that bad posture for too long, that's when you're going to start to get achy. But if you move around, and let's say you have a 1-hour Zoom meeting, and after that meeting, you just want to get yourself back to baseline, these tools that I'm going to show you today are a real quick way that you could kind of fire up your nervous system, release some muscular tension, and activate muscle groups that go dormant while you're not using them. So let's get started with something called a pelvic tilt. So the first thing I want you to do is take a look at my pelvis here. And if your pelvis was a bowl of water, the first thing you're going to do is spill water out the back of the bowl. So I'm taking the top of my pelvis and tilting it backwards, and then take the top of your pelvis and tilt it all the way forward. All right, so I'm literally just using my lower back muscles, my pelvic floor muscles, and my abdominal muscles to tilt my pelvis back, and then tilt your pelvis all the way forward. All right, and throughout the course of the day, when you're in various positions, you're going to find that your pelvis is either sitting way too far back or sitting way too far forward. And then when you want to just do a quick reset for the pelvis, do some pelvic tilts back, forward, really just trying to tilt that pelvis like it's on an axis and the top is going forward and back. And then find a spot right in the middle. So after you go all the way back, all the way forward, neutral pelvis is when your pelvis is sitting right in the middle. So the major things that we're going to focus on today are the hips, the core, and the shoulders. All right, so to set your hips in neutral, tilt back, tilt forward, find a spot right in the middle. On top of that, you want to have the bottom of your rib cage lined up right on top of your hips. So if you kind of hunch your back, you see that your rib cage pops out your back. But once you find that neutral pelvis, use the bottom of your rib cage to line it up right on top of that pelvis. All right, this is really important because your diaphragm, which is what causes you to breathe both actively and subconsciously, your diaphragm is what's going to regulate your entire nervous system all day long. So whenever you're stressed or if your body is really tight, you can always bring it back to your breathing and down regulate your nervous system. And it works best when your diaphragm is lined up. So having that bottom of your rib cage right over the top of your hips allows this midsection in this core to inflate in 360 degrees as you breathe. So we're just gonna go through some slow, deep breathing here. I want you to try to make sure your ribs are on top of your hips and your ears are on top of your shoulders, so you're sitting nice and tall. And take a giant inhale for 4 seconds. And a giant exhale for 4 seconds, nice and slow and long. Inhale for 4. Exhale for 4. Let's do one more now. Try to do this all nasal breathing. All right, so big inhale for 4 seconds through your nasal. Big exhale for 4 seconds through your nose. All right, so that diaphragm is deep down in your belly. You're gonna find when you're stressed, you're doing a lot of chest breathing. So whenever you find that you have a little bit of stress going on, try to push that breathing down into your belly and expand your belly as much as you can with this long, slow nasal inhale and a long, slow nasal exhale, all right? So now we're gonna move up to the shoulders. We just talked a little bit about the hips and a little bit about the diaphragm. Now I'm gonna do something with my shoulders. I want you guys to all take a peek at my shoulder blade, which is this bone right here behind my upper arm. First, you wanna pull your shoulder all the way down with a straight elbow and an arm right in front of your shoulder, all right? Now, draw a square with your shoulder blade. So push your shoulder all the way back and down, and then keep it all the way back and go all the way up towards your ear while it's back with control. And then while it's up, go all the way forward with your shoulder, protruding your shoulder blade forward, and then keep your arm all the way forward and bring your shoulder blade straight down. All right, so you're drawing a square. Go all the way back, all the way up. You can do both arms at the same time, or you can do one arm at a time to try to isolate a side. And what you're trying to do is move your shoulder blade around with those tiny little rotator cuff muscles. All right, so your arm stays parallel to the ground the whole time, but you're trying to make your shoulder blade pull your arm all the way back, pull your shoulder up, pull your shoulder forward, and pull your shoulder down. Now in mobility, it's very important to control the range of motion. The difference between mobility and flexibility is the level of control. So mentally, really try to picture all those small shoulder blade muscles working, going up, forward, down, and back. All right, really opening up that shoulder. Now let's try the same thing on the opposite side. All right, we got 3 reps on the opposite side. Hold your shoulder all the way down, pull that shoulder back. While it's back, lift your shoulder all the way up. While it's up, go all the way forward. And then while it's forward, go all the way down. All right, shoulder blade goes down and back. That shoulder blade stays back and goes all the way up. It stays up and goes all the way forward. It stays forward and goes all the way down. Let's do one more. All the way down and back. All the way back and up. All the way up and forward. And then all the way forward and down. All right, so that's just meant to loosen up all the small muscles around your rotator cuff, around your shoulder blades, around your upper arms. And a lot of times when you're curled over a laptop all day, all these muscles in the back of your shoulders carry a lot of tension, as well as the muscles in your chest getting really tight. So moving that shoulder blade around and opening up that range of motion in your shoulders is gonna make your upper back and neck feel a lot better. All right, now speaking of the neck, that's another important part. Start with your shoulders or your ears over your shoulders and your shoulders over your hips, all right? And take your neck and just lean it one way. Take a big inhale, exhale, and then lean it the other way. Big inhale, exhale. And then lean your neck all the way down, chin to chest, and then tilt your head all the way back. Big inhale, exhale. All right, and you don't really want to do neck circles. A lot of people make the mistake when your neck is tight and try to rotate your neck in a circle. That's not the most ideal for controlling the range of motion in your neck muscles. Doing what we just did, where you actually go side to side and then forward and back, is going to be a little bit more healthy for keeping your neck well against all this stress. Is everybody with me? You guys doing good? Give me a thumbs up if it's going okay. Nice, you guys can hear me, good. All right, the next thing we're gonna do is stretch out your wrists. And sorry, I'm getting so sweaty already. I'm in my backyard in Florida right now. Next thing we're gonna do is do your wrists. So you can either use your chair or you can use the table. The chair seems to work really well. The first thing you're gonna do is turn your fingers so that your fingers are facing your thighs, and keep your elbows straight and your back flat, and then put all 10 fingers down. So turn your fingers so your fingers are facing your thighs, elbows stay straight, and then sink your hips back. All right, this is gonna be a big stretch in the forearm. Keep your fingers really wide. I know we're all typing on our laptops all day, and our forearms and our hands are taking a beating. So this is the nice way to get a good stretch in that forearm. Spread the fingers out, keep the hands down, and really just sink back. You can either hold it back and get a nice static stretch, or under control, breathe your way back and forth. All right, so hopefully you all can see this. I have my hands with my fingers facing my legs, and I'm stretching out my forearms. All right, another forearm stretch. Take the back of your hands, and now put the back of your hands down with your fingers facing your thighs. It looks like it might be too sensitive, but just give it a shot really gently. All right, if you have to have your elbows a little bent at first, that's okay. Or try to straighten your elbows all the way up. Once your elbows are all the way straight, start to lean back in your body so that you can get that stretch in the opposite side of your forearms. Now we're stretching the top of your forearm here. So hopefully you guys can see this. All 10 fingers down, back of your hands down, facing your legs, sink back, open up that forearm. All right, keep your 10 fingers spread out. I'm sure a lot of you are finding right now, like, wow, I didn't realize my wrists were this tight. And the more you do this, the better it feels. It probably feels a little painful the first time you do it, and it gets a little bit numb and tingly. Don't overdo it, don't push it. But if it feels like you're releasing some tension, then take it nice and slow and control it. All right, shake your hands out. We got one more wrist stretch. Take your fists and put all 10 knuckles together. And now you're gonna put your fists, your forearms, and your elbows all down on your chair. All right, so take this entire thing and put it down your chair. Major key, keep your fists together and your knuckles touching the ground, and then try to straighten up your elbows. All right, keep your fists touching each other and your knuckles touching the ground, and start with your elbows on the ground and then straighten your elbows up. You might only be able to go a couple inches. You might be able to get your elbows all the way straight. See how far you can go while maintaining the fist. You're gonna feel this stretch all through the back of your hands, the back of your fingers, and your forearms. All right, so you're taking fists, knuckles together, knuckles against the ground, and straightening your elbows. All right, this one is the most extreme usually, where you really start to feel a lot of numbness and tingling going on in your forearms. If it feels like it's a nice stretch and release, stay there and hold it and breathe into it until it releases more. All right? So,
Mike, I just have a question from someone who said they're getting numbness and tingling from a few of their fingers when they're doing the stretch with their palms down. Is there a modification for it, or any advice?
If you feel like you're getting too much tingling or numbness in your arms, you don't have to turn your wrists all the way around. And on the one that I was just explaining, if you have to let go of your fingers a little bit so that you can't keep that full tightness, that's okay. And then little by little, try to work your way up to being able to do the move without the numbness and tingling. The numbness might just be a little bit waking up stretches and mobilizing muscles that aren't used to working. But obviously, be careful with pain. If there's any kind of pain in your wrists, don't push past any pain, because this kind of stuff, it is a little bit aggressive when you're going through full ranges of motion. So you don't want to injure yourself, but do what feels good. All right, so we just finished the wrist stretch. Now we're gonna move on to some standing exercises. And the first one, put all your weight evenly distributed between all four corners of your feet. All right, if you have shoes on, that's okay. If you're barefoot, even better. I want you guys to look at my toes. I'm gonna pick up both big toes and then put both big toes down and pick up the other 8 toes. All right, put all 8 toes on the outside down. Pick up your 2 big toes. And then put your big toes down and pick up your other 8 toes. All right, so this one kind of feels like there's a lot of wires crossing. It's a bit of a puzzle, but there's a lot of nerve endings in our feet. And a lot of us are doing a lot less walking now than we're used to. So keeping all these muscles in your feet, taking care of your feet while during this time is important. All right, so the outside 8 toes come up, outside 8 toes go down, 2 big toes come up, 2 big toes go down. All right, now keep all 10 toes on the ground and shift your body weight over to your stronger leg. We're going to do something called the glute clock. The purpose of this exercise is to activate your glute, which is the largest muscle in your body, and it happens to be right in the center of your body, so it's really important. And it's a muscle that becomes dormant when you don't use it. So activating your glute on a daily basis is really helpful for your overall well-being. Keep all your weight on the heel of one leg. That leg, your plant leg, is in the middle of a clock. And take your opposite leg, sink your butt back. So you're pushing your butt back and down, and reach your opposite leg forward. Don't go too low, just go as low as you can, and tap your heel out front and come back. Now, if you're on a hardwood floor, if you brought a paper towel or a paper plate, or you have a towel, you can slide this foot forward and back, or you can just go down and tap this foot forward and back. All right, so you tap out to 12 o'clock, and then go all the way to the side, tap 3 o'clock, go all the way back, tap 9 o'clock, and then rotate around for 6 o'clock, and now tap 9 o'clock. All right, so we're gonna do 3 times around the clock. So the plant leg's right in the middle, the other leg goes down, taps or slides. I'll show you my towel slides a little bit. You can slide out to the side and slide back up. Slide back into this lunge, back up, and then rotate over one more time. All your weight on your plant leg, driving through that heel. Drop down, touch 12 o'clock with the opposite leg. Touch 9 o'clock with that opposite leg. Touch 6 o'clock. And then go around and touch 9 o'clock. Now, if you feel like a lot of burning in your quad, then you're not sitting your butt back enough. Keep more weight on your heel and really try to sink down and back. All right, let's try the opposite leg. So first, put all your weight on that plant leg, steady through the heel, slide the other foot forward, tap where you can, come back, slide all the way out, tap 3 o'clock, come back, slide all the way back, tap 6 o'clock, come back, and then slide all the way up, tap 9 o'clock, come back. We got 2 more rounds on this leg. All the way forward, tap 12, slide out, tap 3, slide back, tap 6, slide around, tap 9. You got 1 more time. All the weight on the heel, sink down with an inhale, come up with an exhale. Slide it out, sink back and down with your butt. Come on all the way back up. Slide it back, big inhale down, driving through that heel of the plant leg, and then coming all the way back up. And then rotating around, hitting that last spot. Good, so now both glutes feel real fired up, right? Everything down the back of your legs, around your hips should be working. So we just activated all your hip muscles. Now we're gonna do a little hip release. So I want you guys to sit on the ground with your knees both at 90 degrees. One knee is going out to the side, and one knee is going straight ahead. All right? You might have to start with your hands on the ground on this one. That's okay. Try to eventually progress to having your hands here, here, and then here is the hardest. All right? So let's start with here, or start with here. Keep both heels on the ground. Get as tall as possible. Shoulders or ears over shoulders, shoulders over hips. Rotate to the opposite side. Try to stay tall as you do it. All right. Keep both feet on the ground and then rotate all the way back. So your feet don't move. You just move your legs side to side to open up that the hip joint. All right. The articulation happens in that hip joint. your hip is a ball and socket joint that's moving around like this. You want that top of the hip to be with control going back and forth. If you go too fast, you don't get the benefit out of this one. Speed hides the need. So try to go nice and slow. Open up those hips all the way to the opposite side. All right? I'll show you a little easier version. Hands down, rotate to the side. All right? It's a lot of obliques. It's a lot of core work on this one, actually, while you're opening up your hips. You want to use that core, get tall, stabilize the pelvis, and then under control, go to the opposite side. The key is control. Nice and slow and controlled, going back and forth. All right? Let me watch some of you guys do this. So let's see. That looks good. See ya. Andy, you got it. Now just try to get your shoulders a little more over your hips. Yep, get that chest really tall. That looks great, Isabel. Really good. Chest tall. Very good. You guys got that one. Very good. All right, so just to recap, the first two things that we just did were activating your hip muscles and then releasing your hip muscles. And remember earlier I told you the three important things that we're going to do today are your hips, your core, and your shoulders. So this next one focuses on activating the muscles around your shoulders and your core. All right, so start with your hands right down beneath your shoulders and your feet wider than your hips. All right, so your hands are beneath your shoulders and your feet are wider than your hips. You can't quite see my feet there, but the wider you have your feet, the easier this one's gonna be. And this is the one where you wanna bring your book. So if you have a book with you or a small towel works too, just something that you can balance on your back. And the reason why you're gonna have this on your back is the less that your hips move side to side, the more your core and spinal stabilizer muscles are working. And that's really the purpose of this one. When you're lounging on the couch or working from home in all different positions, your spine is constantly in all different positions. And this is gonna give you that reset to activate the muscles around your spine that aren't getting the love they need all day. All right, so take that book, put it right beneath your chest, hands underneath your shoulders, legs outside of your hips, and then without rotating your hips, take that book and put it on your back. Take your other hand, reach up, take that book off your back. All right, and then other hand starts, book on the back, other hand up, book off the back. All right, so side view, the book's underneath your chest, the hips don't move, reach down, put the book on your back, switch sides, opposite arm brings it down, opposite arm puts it up, don't let that book fall off your back when you switch arms, and then keep going side to side. So I'll show you a couple times and then let's see you guys do it. So I'm watching your form here. If anybody has any questions. Okay, good. I'm glad that modification worked. See, that looks great. Conrad, you got it. Andy, see if you can bring your hips down just a little bit. Nice, right there is perfect. And then pull your shoulder blades down towards your hips. All right, so your shoulders are as far away from your ears as possible. All right, all 10 fingers are spread out on the ground. And about 3 rounds is good to get started. And then eventually, after you do 3 rounds for a week or 2 in a row, you're gonna realize that it's not enough and you're gonna wanna do more. But doing 3 back and forth with each arm for now is really good. All right, I think you guys got that one. We have one more exercise today. So we just activated all the muscles around your core, shoulders, rotator cuff. Now we want to release all these muscles. So standing, feet about hip width apart. All right, hands, really important here. Your palms of your hands are facing towards your legs. All right, get as tall as possible so your chest is up, but your rib cage is down. Make your abs tight and make your glutes tight. So everything around your midsection is tight here, and your hands are facing in. All right, one arm at a time. Take one arm. Watch me do it the first time, then you guys can try the second time. Take one arm and go all the way up and reach up until it doesn't let you go back anymore. Pause in that position and then rotate your entire arm. All right, so I'm taking my arm and actually rotating it from the shoulder joint while it's up top. Rotate the entire arm and then finish the arm circle with that arm rotated. And you're gonna end up with the back of your hand facing your thigh. All right, your back of your hand is facing your thigh and your thumb is facing back now. And we're still on rep number 1. You have to go all the way around forward and back for 1 rep. So now we're going backwards. So the back of your hand is facing in, your thumb is facing back. Reach back until you can't reach anymore. And then rotate your arm the opposite way and finish the arm circle. All right, so there's 2 different kinds of rotation going on. There's the arm circle and the actual upper arm rotating in the shoulder joint. And you're gonna feel a bunch of little things moving around here. That's all good. All right, if you have any rotator cuff problems, if this is painful, then stay away from it. But if it's not painful, take it nice and slow. Abs tight, glutes tight, reach all the way up, rotate the arm, and finish the arm circle. And you finish off with the back of your hand in, your thumb back, and then go back. Rotate the opposite way, and come all the way up and around. All right, I'll talk you through it. Hand is facing in. Reach your arm all the way forward and all the way up. Stabilize through your core, your abs are tight, your glutes are tight. Rotate that arm. Reach all the way around, back and down. Finish off internally rotated, reach back. Externally rotate, kind of like you're unraveling your shoulder, and then reach all the way up and around. Now, I'm not near a wall, but if you guys are near a wall, then a good way to get good at this is to start doing this pretty close to the wall and do the whole rotation without touching the wall. And then little by little, get closer and closer to that wall to open up more range of motion. Let's try 3 reps on the opposite side. All right, so abs are tight, glutes are tight. Take that arm, hand facing in. The wall would be right next to you here. Reach all the way up without touching the wall. Rotate that arm and finish the arm circle. Shoulders stay over your hips, ears stay over your shoulders. All that comes from core stability. Back of your hand is facing in, thumbs facing back. Reach back. Unravel your arm and reach all the way up and around. All right, we got 2 more reps here. Start with the hand facing in. Reach forward and up. Rotate that entire arm, so it's not just your hand rotating, it's your entire upper arm coming from the shoulder joint. You end up internally rotated, thumb goes back. Unravel your arm and do the arm circle. 1 more. Reach all the way forward and up. Rotate that arm. Finish the arm circle. Reach back. Rotate the arm the opposite way and reach all the way up and around. Now you guys can keep going, and I'll come take a look at your form and see if I can give you any tips. Pretty good. Pretty good. Just try to, a couple of you guys, as you're reaching up and back, your ribs are coming out. Fight really hard for those ribs to stay in. So use that abdominal wall to really pull your rib cage in. So a lot of the mobility happens right there in the shoulder. Nice. Yeah, that looks really good. Good, Ann. That was awesome. Perfect. Nice. Keep that rotation all the way. Yeah, nice. You got it. Good. And then it's okay if your arm, if your shoulder comes up on this one, that's okay. You really want to try to get as big of a range of motion in that shoulder joint as possible. And really slow, go around really slow and really breathe and really try to mentally be inside of the exercise. That's how mobility works the best. Mindfulness and mind-body connection is what really opens up the new level of control as well as the new ranges of motion. So the more that you're really breathing into this and you're being present in this exercise, the more you're going to get out of it. So that looks pretty good. About 3 on each arm for you guys. Awesome. Awesome. So that's all I have for everybody today. Thanks everybody for joining. I appreciate you guys taking a half hour out of your day to try to focus on a little bit of well-being. Everybody take care of yourselves. And for all you members, I'm looking forward to seeing you back in the gym soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thanks,
Thanks a lot. Really appreciate. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Thanks so much for coming. Hopefully you guys feel a little better now than you did a half hour ago.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
Bye.